Welcome back to another TMR Chair Chat. We're here with Robert. He is the Living Zultar. And we're going to just talk about some back history of where this character came about and how he got started in entertainment. So welcome, Robert.
Thank you. How you doing?
Very good. So real quick, just to the fans, kind of explain who you are now and just maybe some of the back history, and I'll fill in with some questions.
Sure. Well, my name is Robert Nash, and I am known as the Living Zultar. It's something I came up with, inspired based on the movie Big with Tom Hanks back in, I believe, '88. And from the Zoltar machine that changed the young boy who portrayed Hanks as a child into, the adult, was just something that fascinated me. And I thought, wouldn't that be a neat thing to do, like maybe as for a Halloween costume?
Yeah.
And so what I did is about 15 years ago, I made it as a costume only. I thought, this would be great. Go to some costume parties, win a couple of contests, which I did because it was kind of fun just bringing that to life. But the thing that's kind of unique about it is I basically play out as a mechanical. I'm animated. People think I'm robotic. I keep a stare for minutes and minutes and minutes upon. And I basically come to life when they push the button.
Yeah, and I think that's actually what makes people, yeah, of course, and that's what makes people most interested strolling by, because we heard the murmur in the crowd of, is he alive, is he not, is it real, is it a robot? And I think that's what makes it even more unique. Is
Absolutely.
That interactive entertainment aspect.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, because that's the key part of the whole thing that actually draws the big crowds, because people stop and they go, well, we can't tell. But then when somebody approaches, pushes a button, I come to life, and I either scare them or get them laughing or something, there's where it starts. And now it starts to actually, it starts to multiply the people building and building and building, and everybody just starts building this massive group around the machine, and it turns into a full-blown show. Yeah. And that's where it's fun. But everybody's individual is different, because everybody's story and wish that they wish for, naturally, I improv on what they want and do the best that I can to make them feel content with what they wish for and or happy with what they're getting, or get a good joke out of it and get everybody laughing again and keep that going. So that's a lot of fun too.
Well, and of course, with, we'll say, modern technology, social media, some of that interactive entertainment has gone to the wayside, and I think that's what actually helps it now, is because it's bringing people back out, interacting, and also the unique experience of they're adding to it because it's their wish, and then again, like you said, you improv based on that.
Yes,
which is like super unique. So like going deeper into the Living Zultar, like kind of like what got your start in entertainment? Like, where is your background? Where did you start? I know earlier you said you grew up in Las Vegas or right outside of Las Vegas.
Yes.
And just how did this all evolve into what it is now?
Well, basically, when I was getting started in any form of entertainment business, I was a magician. I started out as everybody's amateur magician, just learning tricks and wanting to do shows and perform for people. So with that, I developed multiple routines and found that I had an knack for comedy. And so I started doing comical magic routines and saw that was basically where it was going. My mentor in magic, his name was Gary Darwin, and he ran a magic club in Vegas. He's passed away a few years ago since, but back when I was about 11 years old, a long time ago, Gary took me under his wing, and he guided me through and taught me many things about the art, shared with me his library of many studies I could do, and basically helped me to develop all the different routines that I have put together, whether it's just individual tricks or set routines or full shows. Didn't matter. He was always giving me creative ideas and helping us. He helped all the young magicians. I mean, that's what his life was about. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to be one of them, to learn under him. And I learned some great stuff. And that I basically took and started with my entertainment. And then I started to spread out. Yeah. I started getting into more comedy, stand-up comedy. I got into doing impressions and voices, singing, dancing, magic, acting. And then as I got older, I decided one thing that was a lot of fun was doing special effects makeup.
Ooh, okay, and that's where this...
Right.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And on top of that was building and designing haunted houses. And so with all these things that I put all my research into and my studying into and all my learning of, I was able to basically do many things in different fields within the entertainment business, and also learning production, including costume design and building, a lot of hand stitching. I make my own costumes, I do my own makeup, I built the Zoltar box and all the gadgets that go along with it, and I found that all of the aspects of my entertainment youth growing up that I've studied, all of it came together, and I use every facet to create Living Zultar.
And that's what's great. Like, and some, we see so many kids walking up to the machine, wishing for various things, as kids do. But the inspiration of understanding of, like, you might want to be something, but not necessarily knowing the path. But some of the things you encounter along the path is what's really going to help get you to where you need to be or want to be, because of the skills you learn, because of the people you meet, and that's kind of what makes this all interesting. And you did mention haunted housing, your own makeup. I know there was also a connection to Universal that you had mentioned, that I know, like, even just the magic background, for those that don't know, it's a huge deal to be a mentor under a magician of that caliber. And again, just I know you mentioned you were I think a Beetlejuice, you said?
Yes, we talked about that briefly in the past. Universal Studios Hollywood, back in 1990, they opened something called the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review Show. And I was the original Beetlejuice that started and promoted that entire show for about 4 years.
That's brilliant. And again, is that how you got into the haunted house aspect as well?
No, I started doing the haunted houses before that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, since I was a kid, my oldest brother and I, we would do makeup and haunted houses. We would design our house when we were kids. I'm talking when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And he's like 5 years older. So we would sit there and create the coolest stuff. I mean, all the neighborhood would come to our place because it was Halloween at our house, definitely. So yeah, that's where that really began.
Awesome.
And it's funny because those strange coincidence is that he and I always talked about when we grew up, we wanted to be Disney Imagineers. That was like a major goal for us.
Yeah,
and we wanted it so bad.
Plays to my heart a lot too.
I'm sure, yeah. And it never happened. But when anybody asks me, what's your favorite ride at Disney? I bet I can ask you, and you're going to tell me what it is.
Yeah, and in this day and age, it's actually hard because some of the modern rides are great, but I am also a dark ride junkie. So things just like Mr. Toad, Peter Pan's Flight, I can appreciate the storytelling and the artistry, as well as the technology of what went into it when it was originally created.
Absolutely.
So,
but my favorite ride is naturally the Haunted Mansion. And a lot of that basically stemmed me into developing that creativeness to build and design off of what that was all about. I mean, we were just in awe with that ride, and we were little kids. I thought it's the most incredible thing. We got to do this when we get home, and so that's basically how it started. Disney's been a big thing in our lives, all of our lives since we were kids.
Yeah, so, and I think that's something a lot of viewers can connect with, because with the evolution of the Disney company itself, but we've all been influenced one way or another by something created that was once touched potentially by Walt himself.
Absolutely,
and I think that's one thing that diehard fans like ourselves also further appreciate.
Yeah.
But going further, it's a great history of where that arced from, and now just to kind of wrap it up, what are some of the most fun experiences or maybe memorable wishes that you have granted as the Living Zultar?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and this can be comical and it can be endearing. And I've had people, and I'll give you a few examples. I've had people always wishing for money. You get that all the time. And I basically tell them, that money is basically, it's a tool. It's not the thing that you need to wish for. You need to wish for happiness, because if you're happy, it doesn't matter what you have. If you have a lot of money or a little money, you want to always be content in life. And that lesson, it goes out there, and a lot of kids, when they ask for money, or even adults, the people around them, they sit there and they go, oh my God, he's right. If I was happy all the time, I'll always have money, but I don't need a ton of it. I'll be content. And it really reaches people. That's a common one. I've had a lot of things happen where, in some unique situations that are really heartfelt, where people asking that, they wish their father didn't have cancer, and what could we do? And I basically have to reach out to them I mean, I got to get a little deep and I get serious and I pull away from the crowd because, I do a comedy routine, but I get these serious requests and a wish. And with something like that one, I bring them close and I tell them, look, a positive attitude has to always be there.
Yeah.
You can't control what's already been done, but you can keep everything in a good mode and positive and smiles and have a good energy and keep that going. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard stories where people have said, if you can focus on positive, you can clean that toxin out of the system.
Yeah.
If there's enough of that with prayer and belief, why can't it happen?
Sure.
People only limit themselves.
Yeah.
And I tell that to people, you only limit yourself.
Yeah.
Reach out, do what you can. Do the research of what do you need to do.
Yeah.
Be close with that person. They really need you. Sometimes these people that are sick feel like they're left alone and nobody wants to be there for them.
Sure.
And loneliness will kill a person.
Yeah.
It's worse than sometimes the disease itself.
Of course.
I said, show the people love. Express to them how wonderful they are and how much they mean to you. And it lightens them up. It brings them to life. It helps them extend. It gives them longevity. I mean, it does. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But I share this with people, not to be an actor, but because I see so many different people that it really means something. There's something really there. There's something that touches the heart.
Sure.
And I just want people to understand being good and kind, that's all a part of it. The world's ugly, man.
Yeah.
Make it better any way you can.
Bringing back some kindness, that's something we all need.
And that's the thing that I try to get out to people mostly. That's my main word is kindness and good hearts and peace and treating people good, because if you don't do that, you've got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's turning into a demise of everything around us.
Of course.
But again, with whether someone's sick or miserable or they're happy but don't know if they're happy, don't know what they want, that attitude about the kindness and the spreading of the good feeling, that helps everywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you're at. And so I try to reach people with that and help them out with that, because I can't cure everybody's problems. But if I can make them see something that sparks a little light and makes them feel like, they can shine and do that with whoever is in their family or in their life somehow, it makes them feel better, then it makes me happy. I've tried to do my job, at least I know I did what I can.
Of course. Yeah.
Didn't mean to drag that on, but it gets like that. It gets pretty intense for me sometimes.
No, and that's the interactive aspect, and I think that is, like you just said about the kindness, that is something we need a lot more of in the modern world that we're living in. And it's, again, I applaud you for the work you're doing, for the effort you're putting in, and again, the entertainment quality, both the comedic as well as, like you said, some of the heartfelt thing, because people get different things out of different pieces of entertainment, and that's where I like the uniqueness of the Living Zultar, because it can be what people need in that moment, whether it is laughter, whether it is a reconfirmation of doubt, or anything.
Absolutely. And I'm on tour. I do this for 3 months, almost every single day straight.
Yeah.
And I see so much of so many different things about all these different people around the states that come to me from everywhere, wherever I'm performing. And I've never seen such a mass variety of people wanting or needing something. And the bottom line is, make them feel good when they leave, but entertain them. That's what it's all about, entertaining them. Yes. Make them feel good and entertaining them. That's all I want to do.
Yeah. No, and that's one thing we applaud. Thank you for your time, Robert. Again, if you guys haven't seen him, go to your next public venue and request the Living Zultar, and maybe you can see him in a town near you. And if not, check out his schedule on Living Zultar and see where he's going to be. And definitely come check him out, because again, it's not only fun, but it can be an experience beyond just entertainment that you watch. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you again for your time, and hopefully we can see you again out there and just making people laugh and smile and just bringing good to the world.
That would be great. And for everybody out there, you see me now behind the scenes, but when you see me as a Living Zultar, be prepared, because something may be very good